Indiana Hoosiers live 60. Can you believe we've done 60 of these bad boys, Brad?
We've done more than 60. We just talked about this. We've done way
No,
more
I
than
know.
60. We've been grinding out. We've been talking about how the Hoosiers were going to make it to the top, all the way to the top. Yeah. When did they come up with the phrase of like stacking days, stacking weeks? That was like episode. That was like Six Inside days. Like real talk.
It's
Like we've been
been
talking about how this was inevitably going to happen since, like, honestly, like we knew we were going to be good. We knew we were going to get into a position where we can contend, be competitive year in and year out. Maybe not to this extent, but I would say like we've been saying since the UCLA game year one. Like I feel like we've been on, like the whole time we've been on the point of like we're going to be contenders, we're going to be competitive, we're going to have a great program. Like that's all been true. But I'd say not until the UCLA game, which is still like a year plus, we've been talking about on our show, Six
I
Inside.
think it was
Then
I think it
Indiana
was
was just
the
like,
Western I think it was Western Illinois. Not to cut you off, but I think it was watching them put up 77 points and being like, holy shit, that was the most relentless level of execution, regardless of who was on the other side of the football field. At least for me, that was
yeah,
when I was like, this is different.
yeah. I think one of the big things that I think a lot of the public's kind of realizing is that last year's team was really fucking good. I think that's a lot. I've actually been finally watching some Indiana content. You know, I kind of went through a little wormhole, and like a lot of people are like, maybe they were like to this day, like the only two teams Signetti has lost to are teams that played in the national title.
It's fact.
Up to this point, it's been 2 full seasons, damn near 2 full regular seasons. How about that?
Yeah, longest home winning streak in the sport, longest winning streak in the sport. I think.
Well, yeah, because they're the only undefeated this year. Well, yeah.
Yeah, a lot's happened since we last spoke, Brad, and it was funny. I was basically just writing down awards, and so we'll get into a lot of that.
Yeah.
But obviously,
Yeah, they did pretty good in that regard this year. They did okay. Like if how many all conference guys do they have this year? Like 19 all conference.
the list of All Americans, which like I have pulled up, and it doesn't even have like the.
Did you specify like which all American they were, like Walter Camp or AP or
Yeah,
stuff?
Walter Camp's not on this list. AP's not on this list. AFCA's not on this list. But like the Athletics, CBS Sports, like On3, PFF, Sports Illustrated, like this is not even including all conference guys. Like
we didn't even do Phil Steele all Americans. I gotta look that up.
I don't even know if those have been released yet. At least I haven't seen that. But obviously, Brad, the big one, the Heisman Trophy ceremony was on Saturday night. We haven't spoken since a majority of the Heisman content has started to come out, whether it was the letter that Fernando Mendoza's mother, Elsa, wrote to him, which was a heart-wrencher, just one of the most beautiful things you could possibly read. I'll cry just thinking about it. Or all of the New York content.
I cried at the point where she had to tell the boys about the diagnosis. That's that point in the article is when I started crying, tearing up. Very emotional article. I'm trying to get everyone that is associated with, honestly, like anyone with a pulse to just like read that article and like not come away with that as like, if you weren't already on the boat of like Fernando's like the best kid you could ever root for, like, I mean, that's just the cherry on top. Like, if that doesn't get you to that point at that, like, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. I mean, that is like the way she describes him. Like, obviously it's his mom, and she's not gonna like, she's gonna, you know, put him in a good light as always. But like, you know, what she describes him as is literally what we see in every interview and every moment Fernando gets a camera put on him. It's the same description, right? It's the soft, kind-hearted kid who's very smart and cares about people, is a really good teammate, and just a very selfless individual that deserves nothing but the best. And I really hope Les Snead makes the move and gets him in LA and puts him and stashes him behind Stafford. As good as Stafford's playing, but he is 37. Like, let's just call it out, right?
37 with a back issue. I'm just saying.
Yeah, 37 with a back issue. He's going to win MVP, but, you know, he's 37 with a back issue.
He plays this year. He plays next year, and then he can ride off into the sunset or go be like a Tom Brady for the Bucks type of for somebody else, and then Fernando gets to play in the Sean McVay system. But that's neither here nor there. But I couldn't agree with you more. Then the Players Tribune released like a video montage where they had like the words like on the screen with pictures and stuff, and I was just crying again at that. And like it was just it was a really beautiful, just such a beautiful moment. And then to see the rest of the ceremony, to see what he did when he got to New York, right? Like he goes to the Adidas Superstore and he gives a bunch of families money to go.
Five families or four or five.
I think it was 4. I think they had 10 grand each, and whatever they didn't buy got put on a gift card, which is just insane. Putting the spotlight on the MS Society the entire time. And he's just like a class act, and you juxtapose that with the way that other people who shall remain nameless on this podcast acted over the weekend.
I'm not gonna remain Diego Pavia nameless. Like, we all know who we're talking about. I mean,
no, I'm just joking.
What sucks is that, like, I've said this on the pod, like, I'm a Diego Pavia fan. I think he's a great football player. I think his story, I think what sucks for him is that his amazing story and his, like Fernando was overlooked and had to overcome some things, but like not to the extent that Diego Pavia had to go through. You know what I mean? Like, his story was insane, and for him to like almost discredit himself by the way he's been behaving is just, it's tough to see, right? Like, it's like,
it's more so disappointing.
That's also a guy you should be rooting for. Like, that's a guy who would, he's 5'9", probably came into college 180 pounds soaking wet, put on the 40 pounds needed to play at the D1 level, got super strong. Like, this is a guy that would go into the gym at 4:30 in the morning every day to get to where he is now. Like yeah, Fernando worked hard, but like he probably had more God-given talent than Diego Pavia. Diego Pavia probably worked harder to get to where he's at than anyone.
I don't know if he worked harder per se, but I mean, I'm with you in the fact that like in a vacuum, Fernando Mendoza is 6'5", 225.
Yeah, to think like he's not 6'5", 225 like Fernando is. Like, Fernando was given God gifts, right? Like, Diego had to literally earn everything he has, and for him to like behave the way he did and kind of put himself in a bad light to where it's almost like discrediting and kind of off-putting, to be quite honest, like a big turnoff for a lot of people, and deservedly so. Like, his behavior is, but it's just sad, like, because that he should be being celebrated as well. Like, the fact that he got to wear like JUCO zeros, like Mendoza was a 2-star, he's a 0-star. JUCO had to go to New Mexico State and worked his way up to Heisman runner-up. Like, what a fucking story that is. But like the way he's been acting, like no one's gonna cover that. Like, he's turning into a guy you don't really want to root for. Like, and that's tough to say because like, it's maybe that, and that, like, it does come from like that chip on his shoulder that he's had. Like, he's had to behave that way and like had to be like, I'm the guy, like I'm him. Like he's had to have that mindset, because if he didn't, being the size that he is, like, I don't think it would work. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I do. Question for you. Did it surprise you that when that video of him in the fuck Indiana sign, like, extended out, that Julian Sayin is standing right there, like looking at the sign?
What actually came to my mind is that was probably Julian Sayin's idea. Was that sign? That's what came to my mind first. I was like, that's probably Julian. Because like, to be honest, like, fuck Indiana, like that's not Diego. Like,
well,
Indiana's not the reason why he didn't lose the Heisman. Like, it's for if I'm Diego Pavia, it's more like fuck Fernando. You know what I mean? But like for Julian, it's like definitely like fuck Indiana. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they sacked me 5 times and stole my Heisman. So I think that sign was Julian Sayin's idea.
I like that spin zone. I like that spin zone for the playoffs, whether or not that's real or not, because we're more than likely, if favorites win out, we're going to see Ohio State again. And so like, I like that narrative.
Yeah.
But I like I like the fact that you didn't allow me to duck the Pavia conversation. I like the fact that you had it like an adult. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And I think what's the word? Eloquently put how I think everyone's kind of feeling about Diego, right? Because like, that is a guy you should root for. I've always had a little soft spot. He looks just like my brother, which is funny. Like, he's my half brother. He doesn't look like me, but like, just seeing that, like, I was always a big Diego Pavia fan. I was always rooting for that guy. I remember betting on New Mexico State when he was there. Like, I've been on Diego Pavia forever. I know Diego Pavia. Like I'm like, yeah, I'm taking the Aggies because Diego Pavia is the dog. If you watch their quarterback play, he's insane. He's sick. He's gamer. Like I've been such a big fan, and to see kind of how his career's kind of coming to a close is just not. I don't like it. I don't like that he's doing it to himself. Like, what am I supposed to say and like protect him here? And that's almost what I'm doing. But it's like it's hard to do that when you're behaving that way. And it's like,
yeah, certain things are indefensible. It's like
the way he works and his work ethic. Like, yeah, he's small, but like that could work in the NFL. Like, you don't have to be 6'5" to get an NFL job. You know, you just have to be a good teammate and like be in the quarterback room. Like, he's not going to be the franchise guy, but he could be that third quarterback. He could totally be that. He could get a job but at this point, it's like he's going to be in the CFL and probably have a good career. Like, he's probably going to do well in that league. But, you know, if he had NFL aspirations, it's hard to like take that guy. Like, is that a guy we want to be our third quarterback? Like, is that because usually how you kind of build quarterback rooms in this day and age with the extra third quarterback rule is that like you have your franchise guy, you have your vet, and then you have your young developer guy that could potentially become the vet or the starter. And then most likely the vet if you have your franchise guy in theory. I think people know what I'm saying. But like he could earn that, like be that developmental quarterback that people take a chance on. Like maybe one day he could be the vet in the locker in that quarterback room for a team and have a good like 8 to 10 year career in the NFL. But he's kind of working against himself, and that's why his agent had to release an apology, because like the reality is that he actually has a shot at the NFL. It's like he's kind of digging himself into a hole, because like the reality is he is 5'10", and any slight against his character is going to look bad on him, because like, yeah, we'll just go find a 6'3" guy that doesn't have these issues and he'll be our developmental quarterback. Like, we don't need to deal with this Diego Pavia shit. But yeah, I mean, I'm still rooting for him because it's such a good story. But like the way he's been acting it makes it really hard. You know.
I agree. I thought it was this.
We should turn it back to Fernando.
That's right. That was going to be my next spin zone. Is like back to juxtapose that with the way Fernando Mendoza has handled everything thrown at him. And the videos, dude, the videos coming out of him from like Cal and like the quotes and like some of like the more like ridiculous TikToks from like when he was younger.
Like compilations, they're great. Like,
dude, so funny. He's just a full blown class act. And then like you look at him out on the field and you look at his body of work, and it's like, yeah, no shit, he was the Heisman. Like, he was the best player on the best team in the country. And if you look at the All-American list, and for as much love as Indiana did get, like there were the most first teamers they had on any list, I think, was Buffton Prime, and it was 5. Like, it wasn't like they were the majority of like quote unquote talent evaluators or talent awarders in the country, whether it was the AP, whether it was Sports Illustrated, whether it was On3, whether it was SI or Pro Football Focus, right? Looked at the whole of this Indiana football team and determined that like the whole was greater than the parts, right? And so to not acknowledge how good Indiana was on the outside in the trenches and in the backfield, by default, the award has to go to Fernando Mendoza, because how else are you going to justify them being in the position they're in? Because the coaches can't play.
Yeah, and Diego shouted out in his speech, like that was a team Heisman right there.
Fernando.
Yeah, Fernando. Yeah, who'd I say?
You said Diego.
Oh, whew. You bleeped that or something. Anyways, yeah, Fernando shouted out the whole team, and the whole team celebrated with him afterwards. Like, it was a team Heisman. And like, yeah, maybe there is a narrative that maybe someone didn't really separate themselves statistically, as usually happens in a Heisman year when you have Jaden Daniels and Lamar Jacksons and your Johnny Manziels. And that just didn't happen this year, like, at all. And Diego was probably the best argument to that. And if you're going to put his stats up against any of those past Heisman winners, I said, they're not going to stack up quite like you think. And like 4,000 yards of total offense, like I'm pretty sure like Johnny and Cam, like they all had 5. So it's like I don't think it's very comparable to do that. And so in that sense, like it has to go to. Plus, like Fernando only played like how many fourth quarters? Like
I think he missed 2 full games or something
he
like
played
that.
4 fourth quarters. It was Penn State, Iowa, all the road games. The 3 big road games in Ohio State were the only fourth quarters he really played in this year. And I mean, that's going to work against his stats. Like, if you want to mount Alberto's stats on top of that, even then, like, they're running the ball the whole time. So it's like, then it's like, okay, yeah, Fernando's probably the Heisman, right? Like, with those numbers, like, he probably got cut short a few touchdowns and 500 yards and all that jazz. And I don't know, to hold that against him because his team was so dominant, I think would have been a disservice. And yeah, he totally deserved. Like, I couldn't think of a more deserving player to win that award this year. And and I don't want to bring back Diego Pavi, but he still won the United Golden Arm. Like, that's a great award. Like, that's prestigious as hell, and he won that. And then congrats to him. But Fernando won all the other quarterback awards and won the AP Player of the Year and won Big Ten Player of the Year and won the Heisman, and deservedly so. Like, he eye test wise, like, you could not argue anything. Like, I think Sand was a little bit overrated because he was just putting up great stats because he was just on a good team, right? Like, obviously you can make that argument with Fernando, but if you actually watch the games, like, Fernando was making it happen. You know what I mean? Like, he was throwing dot after dot after dot. And, if you just watch the highlights, like, you get what I'm saying here. Like, he's throwing absolute ropes out there. And yeah, the kid, I called him Andrew Luck in April. I don't know if that's still my comp after watching him through a full season.
I would say definitely not.
He's kind of like his own thing, which is a really good place to be at going into the playoff. Like, he's like a mix of a lot of different things. Like, he's got that Kirk Cousins, like, leadership kind of, mentality, always getting better, always process oriented. He's got the arm. I would say Andrew Luck, he's got crazy accuracy, crazy arm strength. Like, you really don't see that too often. It just does not grow on. It's just comparable to most NFL quarterbacks. And the mobility, it's kind of like, pair that with his size and the mobility he has. It's like, the only knock on him is, like, he's an average athlete for the NFL. You know what I mean? Like, he's not, like, spectacular. He's not.
Yeah, he's not Josh Allen, or he's not.
He's not Josh Allen.
He's probably not going to run 4.5. Or he might run.
I think 4.6 is definitely in his future for sure.
I don't know. He's pretty quick.
He's got wheels.
A long strider.
The term is he's got wheels. That's what I remember watching UCLA football. He doesn't have a shit quarterback. Like, you throw out Richard Breho or Kevin Krabs, like, see him run out of bounds. Like, oh, he's got wheels. He's got wheels, this guy. Watch out. Watch out. This guy's got wheels. But back to Fernando. Like, yeah, he's in a really good spot to be in the sense that it's just like, you can't really comp him to anyone. Like, I'm trying to think of an NFL quarterback that's like him. And
it's a frame thing. Like, if he was 50 pounds heavier, like, he'd look like a bunch of dudes, but he's not. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to call him a string bean because he's, like, well built, but he's like it's hard to, like, body type him to somebody. Like, if you want to, like, do the Jared Goff cow thing, like, I think he's a little bit more athletic. Like, he's not as much of a statue as people want to make him out to be, but he's also not going to be. He's not like a Drake May type athlete where, like, you're calling read options for him in the league.
Yeah, I think what makes Fernando so special, and we've seen it all year, is his ability to not just, like, throw on the run, but, like, throw off platform, throw in the air, throw when his feet aren't set, and still be just stupid accurate with the ball. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback be able to do that consistently, right? Be that accurate while literally throwing the ball up 2 feet in the air. Like, you don't see that. And I think that's what really separates him from a lot of the guys coming out in the draft this year. You don't see that from Adante Moore. He's more of a, not like game manager's a knock, but, like, he's sitting in the pocket. He's very disciplined and very good with his feet, where it's like Fernando could probably improve on that sense, but, like, he could still make the off-platform throws, which is just crazy. Like, that's why he's special. That's why he won the Heisman.
He looks like
like the more I think about Fernando,
not quite
the
like
more
a baby deer, but like a
saying.
developing deer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's in 2-3 years when he kind of figures out which way his body's going and like how to maximize his athleticism, like that dude's got another level. You know, maybe it's like a Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I know what I think
without
he's
the
saying
crazy arm.
when he says he's just scratching the surface. Like, let me tell you, he's not fucking kidding. All right,
No,
Fernando is at like 20% of what he could be. I'm telling you, like this guy could. He's gonna get knocked. Like people are gonna be online and call him like one of the worst going into the draft, like maybe one of the worst first overall picks in like the last like 20 years and shit. You're gonna see all the graphics and stuff,
which is a wild statement considering Cam
like
Ward
all the
was
Heisman
last year.
Well, it's like he's actually just like we talk about production over potential. He's heavy potential guy. Like you know what I mean? Like
with
the production's there. The production's there, but like he is really just scratching the surface. Like when he adds 15 pounds and when he figures out his footwork and his pocket presence and his like, which still needs to be improved. Like he would take bad sacks this year. Like there are a lot of parts in his game that can be improved on. He's going to get faster too.
You're 100% right.
He's not even there physically.
When you look at where he could get to, like his athletic ceiling, like his processing ceiling, just his own confidence in his own abilities. Like even just, I didn't watch the entire presser today that he had or yesterday for like like with the Heisman, but just like his chest was out a little further. He spoke a little bit more sure of himself. Like this is a person who's still rapidly developing in front of us. And like, if you took Diego Pavia's brain and put it in Fernando Mendoza's body, he would have threw for 6,000 yards and 70 touchdowns, and he would have audibled every call that, you know what I mean? In terms of like that, like who does he think? Fernando Mendoza still doesn't understand.
I don't know if the brain is the right word, but just like
you're right. Mentality, like that, like
the magician trait that he has. I think when it comes to understanding defenses and calls and the offense,
football like, IQ,
Fernando's insane.
I mean that just like that confidence of almost like to the irrational
the bravado.
But it wouldn't be bravado in Fernando's case because he's got the entire package. You know what I mean? So it's like he's. You know,
the more I think about him as a prospect, and it's really changing because you know, as the master of the eye test, my eye test and the way I see things are always evolving. Like I'm never stubborn and set in my ways. I'm wrong, and when I'm wrong, I make adjustments into how I see things. Right? I think that's what a master of the eye test would do. Right?
But his ceiling.
But
holy cow, his ceiling.
He is. When Sig's saying he's just scratching the surface, believe him. Like that is not the finished product. He has a long way to go in terms of where he can get to because he is 6'5". He has a rocket arm. He makes off-platform throws accurately.
He studies his ass off.
He prepares. He has great habits. And remember my take? Moms that play D1 sports, check. It's a trait, man. I'm telling you, like it's both his parents played D1 athletics. Both of them. There's a reason why he's so special, like athletically. And I think a lot of the stuff he's had to go through is why he's in such a good mental spot, on top of just being very naturally smart. His dad went to Brown. He got a Yale. He got into Yale, went to Berkeley. Like the kid has a Haas Berkeley degree, and he's going to have a Kelly Master's. Like, there's some good pieces of paper right there, let me tell you. And he's going to go to the NFL and, you know, just wow people in those combine interviews. Like he's going to be so on it. And
oh my God,
he's a sure thing. Number one, he locked in the number one spot. I said it after the Big Ten championship game is locked in. And to be honest, it was probably locked and loaded before that. Cause I think people are going to realize how much potential he has, and people are going to knock him because, you know, he's not there yet. He's not where Kyler Murray was coming out, like kind of a finished. Joe Burrow was kind of like at 80% of what Joe Burrow could be, right? Like when he was coming out, a lot of guys were like that. And like, this isn't a knock on Joe Burrow. He's a starting quarterback in the NFL. He's really fucking good. But like Fernando's just getting started, I think is the big kind of wrap a bow on it. He's just getting started. And I think that's what's going to excite a lot of GMs and why a guy like Les Snead was one of the better, most underrated GMs in the NFL. Fun fact: his son actually had his locker right next to me at Loyola High School back when he was there for a year. Yeah, I think he's got his eyes on Mendoza. I would love to see him get in that Rams organization. That's a great department to work in the NFL corporation, right? You know what I mean? Like, I like the Rams department. That's a good team to be on, you know?
It is, and it's also a perfect opportunity for him to sit for a year, which I think any rookie quarterback, because of the way the league is, because of how demanding in the prep, and you should sit behind a veteran who knows what they're doing. But in terms of like sitting behind a veteran who knows what they're doing,
man, like they're setting up to fail. Like these defenses in the NFL have gotten so fucking good. These edge rushers are freaks. Like, if you think Lawrence Taylor is still the best edge rusher, I'm telling you, there's like 10 guys in the league that are better than Lawrence Taylor. I'm dead ass serious. Like, Lawrence Taylor would be great in today's age. He'd be a top edge rusher for sure. He wouldn't be like anything crazy, like special, like he was, because he was playing in the 70s, you know, and the guys weren't there, and we just caught up to where everyone's a fucking Lawrence Taylor in the NFL these days. Like, it's crazy. Like, people kind of forget how like humans evolve, right? Like, improve and get better. Like, I'm a believer in that, in the sense that we're like, you know, we're getting better as a species, right? As time goes on, like, that's real. Like, that's science backed, like, take right there. And like, if you think the same type of athletes are, like, the point is, like, the athletes in every DB runs a 4.3 and they're all 6'2". Like that wasn't the case in the 70s and 80s. Like, it's just harder to play quarterback. And like, you see Phillip Rivers, like, he's able to make it do because, you know, he's a vet and he understands defenses and he knows when to get the ball out, and he's a super smart player. That's not a guy like he's going to do just as well as everyone. Whenever I see it week in and week out, it's like, oh, Bryce Young stinks. Bryce Young good. Bryce Young stinks. Bryce Young good. Like, it's like, no, Bryce Young's good. He just, you know, the other team won that day, right? Like, they went out there and they beat Bryce Young, you know, and he's still probably one of the 32 most qualified quarterbacks out there, right? It's just like, nothing's going to change my mind about that. Like, just flip flopping. I'm like, oh, he's bad. He's bad. Like, oh, he's good now. Oh, he's having a good stretch. He's in form. Like, no, it's just like, it's just, it's going to sound stupid to say out loud, but like, NFL is fucking hard. Like, it's just hard. Like, they're so even in talent. Like, everyone's got talent. Everyone's so good. Like, the talent disparity is just like, there's so many dudes out there, as opposed to like, you know, back in the day where there was only like the dudes were the dudes, right? And that's like, everyone's a dude in the NFL. I think that makes sense, right? Like that. I'm like the worst media guy, but I swear, like,
just everybody's good. Like, the whole league's good. Like, but it is the truth though. It's the like, talent disparity, especially when you watch college football.
Myles Garrett would do in the fucking 80s. Like, you get 30 sacks, 40 sacks a year. Like, are you kidding me? Who's blocking that guy?
We're looking forward, bro. We're looking forward.
I know. I'm just saying, like, the NFL, the way it's evolved in defense is like, it's a job, and I swear you got to be 25 to play quarterback in the NFL. Like, that's got to be like a requirement at this point, just from what we've seen. Like, even like Joe Burrow's like fucking getting beat up out there, man. It's just
losing his player,
huh?
I say he's losing his smile.
Yeah, he's not even fun anymore because the fucking he's playing Lawrence Taylor every week. You know what I mean? Like, that would suck. I get it. I fucking get it.
I think to put a bow on
Heisman, it's crazy because it's like, it's a disadvantage. Because like, how good can these O linemen get? Like, I don't know, like, how much better like they can be. Like, not everyone can be a Trent Williams, you know. It's like, maybe that's the next evolution where like Trent Williams are going to start growing on trees. I guess, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
That would be absolutely horrifying.
Yeah.
To put a bow on the Heisman talk, though, very deserving winner. The speech was incredible. The weekend was awesome. Taking the trophy to Times Square. I
didn't even talk about the amazing speech. One of the best speeches I've seen. I mean, it's just good to, you know, because it's a glimpse into the personality of all these players, right? And just see Fernando get up there and speak so eloquently and represent the university in such a great way was just, it's hard not to put a smile on your face if you're a Hoosier.
Could not agree more. Did you watch 60 Minutes?
Yes.
What'd you think?
It was amazing. It almost like the one thing that came to my mind was just like, how are we not getting a 60 Minutes interview right now? We've been on this shit. We've been covering it the whole time. We started a podcast because we knew Signetti was going to turn this thing around. And, we've been following it. And it's been an absolute blessing and a wild ride to be on. And, just so awesome because like 60 Minutes is like the pinnacle of news. Like to be a story on that show means you're the most relevant of relevant, right? Like this is like monumental what is going on and like it's an impossible turnaround. Like one thing John Fisher said was like turnaround doesn't do it justice. Like that's not a big enough word for like what Signetti did to Indiana. You know what I mean? Like I think he put it perfectly by saying it like that. And we've said it too. Like this was an impossible event to happen. It will never happen again. It's changed college football forever. It's changed coaching job security in college football, at least for the next 5 years, until people wake up and realize like it's just what Signetti did is like irreplicable. But like there's also the point like Mizzou had probably their best season ever. Vanderbilt probably had their best season ever. So many teams are like having their best seasons ever because they're finally putting money into the sport and allows them to even the playing field and allows them to kind of maximize it. But it all comes down to having, you can do all that, but if you don't have the right coach, you're just going to go 10-2 and miss the playoff. It's like, and that's what it is. There can only be one winner. How many times do I have to say that? Like there can only be one winner. The field goes 500 every year. And yeah, that's about it.
And then real quick, your thoughts on actually
amazing story, great coverage. I was telling our boy JB, like that should have been our boy JB doing that story, god damn it.
It should have been that definitely should have been maybe one day.
One day. I texted him about that actually. I was like, that's gonna be you one day. I'm telling you.
If I can get in if I have anything to do with it, Brad, it will be him one day.
Oh, for sure. That dude should do all the sports stories.
So talented.
That's my dream job for
Justin
him.
Berger, so talented. Atlanta news. I think Atlanta.
Yeah, he's in Atlanta now. Justin Berger. If you're in Atlanta and you're listening, tune in. JB, Justin Berger. He's got next.
Oh yeah, rising star. You talk about a rising star, but no.
Talk about 4 years out of college. He's already at Atlanta news. Kidding me? Rocket ship. Buy stock now. It's probably too late.
You should have got in early.
Like that shit when it was a penny stock.
I want 3 sentences on Brian Haynes becoming a $3 million coordinator.
Brian Haynes getting paid $3 million is super deserved. Should be the highest paid coordinator in the sport.
I don't think he is, but he
is. He. My last question is going to be a question. My last sentence. Does this make him the coach in waiting?
Are you going to make me answer this now, or can I defer till the offseason?
Yeah, you can defer to the offseason. I think
I'll answer this like this. It is very apparent that unless he's going to take a massive pay cut and added responsibility while like trying to grow up, you know what I mean? Like I don't see him taking anything other than a Power 4 head coaching job. Now, whether or not, I don't know. Short answer is I have no idea. Would I like that to be the case?
For like all bets are off. You know what I mean?
He is a super talented coach. Whether or not Curt Cignetti is ready to stop being a head coach by the time Brian Haynes is ready to be a head coach, that I don't know. And if that's the case, like, I don't know. It's an interesting conversation to have in the offseason because eventually, like, if that's the case, then that's going to be something that because of how close this staff is and the continuity they have, like they will know that well before the public knows that. Like it'll be pretty. I'm assuming these things, right? But my guess is based on how public that they're what they've told the public about their own relationship, that they would have the conversation beforehand and in-house know that regardless of what the opening is, if the opening that's worth it comes open, we need to have a plan in place. So if he's not the coach in waiting, my guess is those are the conversations that are being had. I don't see a scenario where like, a couple where Indiana gets left kind of at the altar. That I wouldn't see happening.
I agree. I think it's inevitable. Like, I know it's a tough conversation to talk about like our big playoff
He's too
run.
good of a coach to not get those opportunities, whether that opportunity comes at Indiana or somewhere else first when he's ready. I don't know.
Yeah, big picture, it's like inevitable that like the staff is gonna we're gonna lose pieces, right? Like, I'm not gonna name names. Like, pieces are gonna leave, right?
That's the reality of life.
It comes with the success, right? And I just don't see any of the coaches leaving Indiana out to dry. That's all I'll say about it. And Cignetti's going to find a replacement is the thing. Like, he's done it once. Obviously, it's going to be something as we keep an eye on, his ability to continue doing that, because I think one of the things that's
but before this conversation gets any deeper, we don't have to entertain it because he just signed an extension for $3 million and he's not going anywhere. Him and Grayson are here glitching, scheming, plotting, whatever the hell he tweeted. I don't know. I'm gonna grab that quote and tweet it 100 times over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pumped. It was funny when I talked to Jamie on Sunday, and if you haven't checked that out, you can check out the live I had with Jamie Jordan, Hoosier Huddle IU reactionary, all that good stuff. But he brought up the Haynes extension, and in all the commotion of the Heisman, I'd almost forgotten that they had extended him. And it's just goes to show you how proactive this university is being. And just another, they don't wait for things to happen. Like, I don't really want to get much into the Sharon Moore stuff, just because it's so public and everybody kind of knows what's happening and all that. But everybody, anyone who claims to be an insider said that they knew this was happening. All the Michigan people said they knew this was happening. I'm sure Josh Pate said he knew this a month ago. I'm sure agents and people on the inside knew this too. Indiana never waited once for these opportunities to become publicly available. They just acted. And so you don't have to worry about who's nipping at the heels or who's coming to poach somebody when you're just taking care of your people. And that's something that this administration has done over and over and over again. They've done it with Brian Haynes 3 or 4 times. They did it with Derek Owings. They did it with the entire staff. They've done it with Cignetti twice. I don't know what more people need to see from this administration that other than this isn't going anywhere. We have tasted success. There is blood in the water, and it's like feeding time. This is being locked in as tightly as it can possibly be.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And then the last thing that kind of pretty big that happened before or since we last spoke, that there was speculation on the timeline. We didn't have confirmation. We now have confirmation from Cignetti himself. Stephen Daly likely to miss the rest of the season officially. Super, super unfortunate. We spoke about potential guys who could be stepping up. Have you put any more thought into that? Is it something that you're going to put a bunch of thought into over the next couple of weeks? Or is that just something where, because the way I'm looking at it is, as much thought as I can put into it.
Man's going to put a lot of thought into it.
I trust Brian Haynes. I trust Buda Williams. I trust Pat Kuntz. I trust Kurt Cignetti. I trust those guys. And so whether they decide to, whether the change is more 2 linebacker sets and slide up Bones, whether it's kick out Landino, whether it's more Wheeler, whether it's more Ratcliffe, whether it's more Baldwin, I don't know. I'm along for the ride, and I trust those guys.
Yeah, I trust whatever they're going to do. I like the idea of maybe putting Bones more in that stand-up pass rusher role, moving McHale back to his old position and kind of letting that go and leveraging the depth that we have at linebacker with Utzinger and Caden Turner, who've had to play a lot of meaningful snaps because of injuries at that linebacker spot. I think that's a good route to go. Landino outside works. And just a mix of that, that's good enough. That kind of solves the depth issue. Yes, having Daly and Wyatt makes us really thin, and Dukeway's going to have to step up. He's probably going to start in Dukeway. And then they'll just mix some things around, Jones on the outside, Landino on the outside. It's an easy fix, but the depth is they really can't afford any more injuries. I'll tell you that. Maybe a DePepe, maybe he gets it. He's been in, 42 in your program. But we'll see. We'll see who kind of steps up and who comes in that role, and it'll give us an idea of kind of who's next up in line. And I think we already have an idea. I think it's guys that we've all seen. I think it's 17. I think it's 97, 60, 46. Those guys are gonna really step up.
Can I ask you your opinion of this theory I've been having that freshmen who showed up in the spring last year may be developmentally ready to play at this point in the season. Is that wishful thinking? Is that a little crazy?
I think it's a little wishful. I think it is, because you got to think about the other side, right? Like, their guys are also getting better. Like, their guys are fifth years. Like the age thing matters, right? Like, they also got older, right? So I think it's a little bit of wishful thinking. Like, I don't think they're going to throw Kyler Garcia or Calhoun out there just yet. Well, I could be wrong. I'm not there, But yeah, I think it's a little bit of wishful thinking just based on how kind of Cignetti's philosophy of just playing older guys and guys with experience. And yeah, I'm not saying that they won't get a couple snaps, but I don't really see, like, and Ndukwe is probably the guy who's going to get the most snap uptick of anyone. So it's yeah, and we've already seen it. He's been playing a ton since November. So with McHale's issues and Wyatt going down, like, we've had to see a lot of 17 come out there, and he's probably going to be the biggest name that we say a lot as the guy that's going to have to replace that production.
The simplest answer is usually
the guy we've been hyping up since Six and Side days.
It is a good point. Is if you look back, like, we've been very high on Ndukwe for 2 years now, and it's funny that a couple of the clips that we have or shorts or whatever are shouting him out and saying that he could be a factor this season. So obviously
it comes this
not
way.
How we wanted to see it. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
But I digress. There's been a little bit of recruiting news, Brad.
Ooh.
This will be quick. Obviously, I'm a fan of the Wilt Fong whip around. When he releases stuff publicly, I like to pay attention to it. It's typically the stuff that's behind a paywall just a couple of days later. And so there was some smoke in the timeline, but he came public with crystal ball predictions for Jahai Brown, who's a wide receiver out of Louisville, who's a monster, 4-star, like, absolute freak. Montana Torbert, he also had a crystal ball for. He's an athlete. I believe he's a defensive back in Ohio. He also, I believe, had crystal balls for Mason McDermott and Brandon Sharp as well. So this class
are these 27 guys?
These are all 2027 guys.
It's just getting started. Sorry, Ohio State. We're just getting started. We're your worst nightmare. We're coming. Enough of that.
I love it. Yep. So that's just some recruiting stuff. And then Brian Haynes, aside from getting awarded with a contract extension, is officially a Broyles Award finalist. If he doesn't win the award this year, throw the award out.
Yeah, I don't know who else would get it.
There's literally nobody else.
Yeah. He feels like a shoo-in. Feels like a lock.
Do you think Indiana will go into the Rose Bowl underrated?
So I think there's two sides. I think the public has shifted, obviously. Beating Ohio State definitely raised some eyebrows from basically any doubter out there. I think there's two sides of the coin, right? I think there's also, like, Indiana hasn't played an SEC team yet. Like, we talk about how the Big Ten's equal to the SEC, but, like, they haven't seen it yet. It's like that's a beast, right? Like, we can't know what we don't know, right? Like, and it's Alabama and Oklahoma. Like, it's gonna be like you play Alabama and Oklahoma, they can win. Those teams can beat you any given year. You know what I mean? Like, especially as playoff teams. Like, they're damn good football teams, and I think it's not like, I don't think the narrative would be like they're fraudulent. So if they lose, like, we're right and Indiana was fraudulent the whole time. I think it's more so like Bama can win that game. Oklahoma can win that game. It's like, it's just, we're in the playoffs, right? Like, we saw how it went last year. Seeds 5 through 8, obviously, weird seeding, but, like, seeds 5 through 8 went to the semis. Right? Like, it's a wonky kind of, and that's why we expanded it. And with the NIL and the playing field's even, where I would say when they had the 4-team playoff, usually it was like 3 teams that dominated and one shitty team that somehow made it. But then TCU kind of broke that theory up by beating Michigan. And yeah, it's like, it's football, right? Like, a team can win on a given day. So it's all about Like, I think the same people that would say, like, they can lose in the Rose Bowl would also say, like, Indiana has a legit shot to win the national title. I think that's the two sides of the coin. Like, they can lose their first game, but they can also win the national title. I think there's people that are like, it's almost like it's like equal odds, right? Like, it's almost, you know.
I don't know. Maybe I have a little bit of the veil over my eyes, like I did before we traveled to Kinnick, where I thought we were going to and not that I think we're going to beat up on either of those teams, but I'd be pretty surprised if Indiana lost in the Rose Bowl. We'll get there.
I would too. Like that. Like, as an Indiana fan, I think it's more likely that we're just that dominant, like, Indiana type or Alabama-esque type team, and we're just ready to showcase that against an SEC school. But it could also be like those teams are loaded with talent, guys that are going to the NFL, just like Indiana, right? And they're going to be able to match us in a lot of ways, and it's going to be a dogfight, right? Like, no matter who we get, like, Venable's going to blitz the shit out of Mendoza and have a star quarterback NFL guy and John Mateer at quarterback. Forget Alabama, another NFL quarterback with a very decent defense loaded with talent. And they all pose a lot. They both pose a lot of problems for any team, whether you're undefeated, whether you're just a random SEC school. You know, it's gonna be you gotta earn it, right? It's a national title.
I like it. Did you see Charlie Becker's got it for the Big Ten championship game?
The Gus Johnson, yeah, of course,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, he loves it. I don't think there's a bigger Charlie Becker fan out there than Gus Johnson right now. I really don't. Like, Gus Johnson loves that guy. And I don't know if I've said it on this podcast yet. Like, the way Charlie Becker's kind of ascending right now as a true sophomore, the way he's making plays, can that guy, like, he's like this 6'4", 6'5", like, contested catch guy, possession receiver qualities, while also being a downfield threat, like the complete receiver. Right? It's crazy to see that we just had this guy, like, around. You know, he was just there.
Tom Allen guy.
Yeah, like, no.
Charlie Becker?
No. He was not. He's a true sophomore. He was in Signe's first class.
He was committed to Tom Allen.
Really?
He was a holdover, yes.
Might have to fact check you on that. But anyways.
Do I have the notebook next to me?
It's irrelevant because that guy's on a trajectory to, like, you can't tell me he's not going round one. You can't tell me that. Can't tell me. You can't convince me he's not going round one. He's got a lot of, like, I hate to do the white boy thing, but, like, he's got some Lad McConkey to him. He really does, where it's like, I don't think people, in the sense where it's like, because he's a cold-ass white boy, like, I don't think people realize how athletically gifted he is. You know what I mean? Like, Lad McConkey's a freak, and I think Charlie Becker's in the same kind of category.
I agree. And we have not had the Charlie Becker conversation, and I'm actually, funny enough, I'll be talking to T-Cal tomorrow night, but when T-Cal was here, we asked him about Charlie Becker, and he was like, holy cow, I had no idea. He was cooking dudes on Twitter for yeah, but it was just like, it's to watch him ascend, knowing that he was playing as a true freshman last year because of the work he was doing on special teams. Like, that's a kid who earned all of his playing time, like, very open. Like, the story is very open, like, roommates with Alberto. So for when Fernando comes in, like, they're throwing together in the offseason. So none of this, like, if I knew that piece, I would have been screaming Charlie Becker from the rooftops since before the season started. But it's like, he was also the only player in the spring they didn't have working out of the slot. So it told you what they view him as an outside guy.
What have I always said about underclassmen that are special teams aces?
Yeah, they
turn out to be damn good football players. All right, Charlie Becker. It
just means you got to get them on the field.
Examples of that. Those were the two best special teams guys we had last year, and this year they look like two of our best players. The development is insane. Like, shout out Jayon Brown, because he helped me come up with that. He was the inspiration to that kind of my eye test as I refine it, right? And yeah, Charlie Becker and Isaiah Jones are the perfect examples of being special teams aces as underclassmen and then working your way. And when you get that opportunity, like they are balling out, man. Both those guys.
Yeah, it's unbelievably impressive stuff. And then it just goes to like, look at who's playing special. Like, look at who there is forcing their way onto the field in situations this year, whether it's end of game stuff, which like, if you don't think the people who come in at the end of the games matter, you're out of your mind. Like this, it's all strategic. Like it's all strategic. Who's getting snaps and who's getting the ball thrown to them and who's making plays. Like everything's schemed, everything's called, everything has a reason.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of arrows pointing up in this program. It's exciting stuff, and a lot of people outside of Fernando Mendoza collecting hardware. Curt Cignetti being one of them. He was Walter Camp, AP, Home Depot, and AFCA Coach of the Year in back-to-back years. First time ever, I believe, for all of those. I'm not sure if it was the first time ever for AFCA, but he just absolutely dominating the Coach of the Year awards again. No surprise.
Glad he beat me too, because I was going to be that just said, oh, he's first ever back-to-back Walter Camp Coach of the Year. I guess he's first ever back-to-back in every single award. So that's hella impressive and kind of putting himself in some GOAT talk right now.
The accolades speak for themselves.
And maybe as we talk about how Nick Saban covers Curt Cignetti, being a former employee of his, where it seems like he gasses up the Kirby Smarts, the Dan Lannings, all the guys that are around that Nick Saban coaching tree, but not Cignetti. It makes you think, like, was he threatened by Cignetti? Is that why he left for IUP from a position coach job? Is that, was that the reason the whole time? We'll never know. But it's clear that, I think there is some, I'm not going to assume how Nick Saban's thinking, but but just like human nature wise, when you are like the GOAT and someone else is knocking at the door.
And not only is it somebody else,
it's human nature to put him down. It just is. It's threatening. It's it will never minimize what Nick Saban accomplished. Like, we're talking 7 titles, 11 years. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know. I would flip that argument and say that I don't know. I think it's more so the ESPN connection than it is like Saban doesn't like Cignetti. Because I think just having the notch for Saban becomes like, I was this good, and then look at how good everybody who worked for me was, and you can include Cignetti in that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know if I like the conspiracy theory and I like that narrative, especially because of the way Saban has talked about Indiana, but he's also said like Indiana separated themselves as one of the teams. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. A lot of what he says on ESPN is for entertainment, and you can tell when and not that I watch Saban all the time, but it's very clear when he sat down and watched the film versus he's just shooting from the hip and doesn't really care. And he's been shooting from the hip a lot recently, which, like, again, I fall back on this a lot, but for the Lee Corso's final game day where they had that whole show, the whole theme of that show was like, it's entertainment and we want to entertain and all that. And so like they were screaming at us from the start of this season that this is entertainment, this is not factual, and don't take it as such. And so watching it through that lens this year has helped me a lot in terms of a lot of the things that everyone on that panel has said.
100%. That's very well put. It was just a conspiracy theory. I like Nick Saban. I think he's great on TV, to be honest.
And I like conspiracy theories. Yeah. Fernando Mendoza obviously cleaned up, though, Brad. You alluded to it before. He won the Walter Camp. He won the Davey O. He won the Maxwell. He won the AP. He was AP first team, and obviously he won the Heisman. And he won the silver football.
Yeah, beat you to it. Didn't have it written down either.
Jacob Savage won the Max Preps Kentucky Player of the Year. Jaden Williams was first team All Ohio. I think he was the second or third player from his area to do it. And Ronell Johnson was, I think for the second time, he was All State and All District as well. So some more accolades rolling in for the class of 2026.
I feel like I'm at a point where it's just like, yeah, I'm glad we're getting all these recruits, but it's like, all right, fucking prove it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hear these guys, but it's like, all right, let's fucking see it. All right, let's win some fucking games. Like, I'm not gonna fucking sit here and assume that these guys are gonna come on campus and be Charlie Beckers and be Aiden Fishers and be Elijah Surratt's, because like those guys had different journeys, right? Like a lot of our guys were 2-star guys, chips on their shoulders, put their head down and work. Obviously, coming into this
so excited.
environment, I have a lot of confidence that they're going to be of the same cloth. But it's like, I'll believe when I see it. Like, I believe in the sustained success that Cignetti's building, but it's like I still got my eye on it. It's like shit can go awry. So it's happy these guys are coming in. Trust Cignetti in the coaching evaluation in the process. Still got to see it, still got to result in continued 11-win seasons year in and year out. 10-win seasons, playoff berths. Like, that's now the standard that has been set by the last 2 teams.
I'm glad you said that. I'm really excited to get into the theme of that conversation in a little bit. No, actually, we can do that now. Okay, so we have the transfer portal coming up, right? And I don't want to talk about specifics, but we can talk about a couple of the names that have been thrown around because I just don't think they're realistic. But very, very high level, we've had this or the mantra of production over potential, right? And obviously that reigns true. You want guys who have produced at a high level, and that's the best indicator.
Never going to change.
It's never going to change. Correct. Flip side of that argument, right? When you have a freshman talent like a D'Angelo Pons, like a Bo Jackson, where those guys are just really good football players and have to play, like a Byron Baldwin Jr., where I'm not saying that the mantra of production over potential is going to change, but this idea that players with high potential can also be high producers immediately if they haven't produced already, I wouldn't be surprised if we see slight changes to that in this as we start seeing Indiana climb in recruiting rankings and have access to higher level talent. And so I'm really interested to see how this transfer portal plays out, how they attack it, who they bring in, what positions they bring in. But just at a really, really high level, what are you expecting out of this transfer portal season?
I'm expecting big transfer portal class this offseason. Got to reload at the top. There's tons of young talent that have proven, whether it's on the O-line, there's tons of guys that look ready to go. DB. Oh, man. What a room. What a fucking room. It's everywhere. Talent is everywhere, but you got to be loaded top to bottom if you want continued success like that. I think that's one thing that people don't give enough credit for. We got to stay loaded, right? Bring in the competition. If we bring in some transfer DBs, there's a chance Hollywood Bell, Dontre Henderson can beat you out and start getting some tick. Do I think and I think it will change long term. We will, as we start, I don't think we're there yet, but I think as years progress, I think we'll see Cignetti play more freshmen, play more sophomores, because the talent's there and they put in the work and they get there and they come in spring and they go through 2 camps before the season starts and they're ready to go because they have they're 5-star in the Cignetti system. That's what's going to happen. It's going to happen eventually. I don't know if we're there yet. Brought in I love the class we brought in, 32nd ranked class to a 55th ranked talent composite roster. So we're improving, right? We're upgrading the talent, but it's still not top 25, top to bottom. I'm not saying I'm talking macro right now, obviously. Micro sense, yes, there could be a couple guys that can play as freshmen in that class. We'll see. Cignetti's got a real eye for talent. But I think we've had an advantage of being very old, and I think that's worked in our favor, and I think that's going to continue to be a philosophy. But it's just, over time, we'll definitely have some guys that are going to be able to play as freshmen. It's just going to happen. And excited to see that. Obviously, love to see freshmen play because that means you get 2 free years, Jeremiah Smith treatment of great talent, and like a for sure thing that you don't have to worry about in the portal and those types of things. But yeah, long term, like that's definitely going to happen over the time. Is it going to be the main? Is it going to be like we're going to be low, like super young roster, or we're starting 5 freshmen? Like, no, it's probably not what's going to happen. Like, I'm talking freshman contributors. Freshmen can crack the 2 deep and get some meaningful snaps. But I think the philosophy of being older, I think, is going to remain true with this team. They're going to continue to fill holes in the portal and do it at a very high level, and that's going to continue for a few more years. And because we want to stay at the top. Like, if it was more so like we're like 8-4, it could be a different story. Like, it might be youth movement. Like, let's get this ball rolling and build some depth and build some momentum. But no, we're at the top. Like, we have access to everyone now. Like, let's go get them. Let's go build a monster roster and be the Ohio States of the world, where when we got you on your schedule, you are shaking your boots because you know the talent's there, and they're gonna execute at a high level, and they're gonna be experienced, and they're gonna have it's gonna be a little balance, right? Like, it's gonna be a little balancing act, and it'll be fun to see in fall, and that's why we're here to kind of walk you through it, right? And I'm always big roster construction fan. I feel like I've had a good grasp on kind of where guys are at and how they're going to be using guys like the Ajani and those guys stepping up. Like, that's one less O lineman we got to bring from the portal, because we got Ajani and Bray Lynch might. Bray Lynch, it's going to be an interesting question. What's he going to do? I think he stays, right? Like, but we'll see.
Well, I think the more pressing, I think before even getting to that, the Bray Lynch question of what actually happened during the Big Ten championship game, because nobody's asked Cignetti about it, and whether, like, because Benson didn't start and Ajani didn't start, and both of those guys went in and finished the game. So, like, which line do we see coming out for the Rose Bowl? Like, I'm not even 100% certain right now.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be like a philosophy. Like, Sig can like pitch it. Like, yeah, like you might be like third or second string, but you can work your way up throughout the year and earn your fucking starts. You can come here and work your ass off, and you earn a start at Indiana. You're gonna get a pro look. Like it's that simple. Like you come here, like we're gonna send guys to the league. That's gonna start this year when you get to the draft, and we send 8 or 9 guys to the NFL through draft picks, and it's gonna change everything. It's gonna change the whole perception of the program. And yeah, and that talent's going to come in. Then you're going to have freshmen chomping at the heels of seniors that can only benefit in your favor, right? And the fact that the team's playing at this high level means it's probably already happening too, the guys that they brought in. And it's just elevated the whole team. There's this philosophy, you're only as strong as the weakest link in the chain. Like, that's a football, like, thing. Like, it really, you're only as good as your worst player. Like, seriously, even though he doesn't play at all, like, that's really what it is, because you're going up against each other in spring, you're going up against each other in fall, and then you're going up against each other in practice all year, and in the playoff practices. Like, it's just a continued system that just improves and develops players, and yeah, and that's just how it's going to work. But yeah, I think we'll see. It'll be fun. It's going to be a fun off season, and it's fun to kind of preview it in this way. But like, I haven't done my off-season depth chart yet. Like, it's now.
No, heavens no. We got a long way before then. I want to wrap up the smoke with, well, first of all, the home field apparel that they dropped today, and the Rose Bowl jacket is probably the best thing they've ever released. Like, that was insane. I'm gonna have to have a lot of really hard conversations over the next couple of days. And then the Coach Hep TikTok that Hoosier Comrade, I believe, was the person who posted it, but that's been circulating around the timeline. If you haven't checked that out, definitely go check that out. It was really well done. It was like 3 minutes long. It was a really nice way to summarize what he meant to the program, especially for people who came along after his time was here. And so very helpful for me, very cool to watch. Again, for another reason, Indiana football is making me cry in the timeline. But if you haven't checked that out, Brad, definitely go check that out. And then actually, Kyle Body responded to one of my tweets today. I thought that was awesome. He quoted Kurt Signetti from the 60 Minutes thing. If anybody doesn't know who Kyle Body is, he's like Driveline, special advisor to the CBO for the Boston Red Sox, which is it's a crazy clashing of worlds for me. And the fact that they responded to one of my tweets was nuts. Shout out to Kyle Body. And I hope those guys are doing good work over there in Boston, because, oh boy, you want to talk about an explosive fan base right now, but we're not going to talk about any of that. And then the TikTok the TikTok edit game. This is something that White Boy Rick and I kind of went back and forth on the timeline, but the way that the TikTok edit game has taken a step up since even the Big Ten championship game is like, White Boy Rick said this, but the TikTok kids are running circles around us now. Like the group of us that like all independently at one point decided we needed to like try and figure out edits because they just weren't happening. Like, our collective watch has ended. Like, not that any of us were like talking or like this, none of it was like pre-planned or anything, but like, solid effort, fellas. Like, we did great. We carried the torch. Felt like the kids got it from here. Like, they got it.
Seriously, dude. I got called prehistoric at work this week. I'm 27.
Dude,
I've gone as far as I have TikTok downloaded. I have an account. I don't really go on it too much.
Me neither.
Someone sends me something. To be quiet.
I see them all on Twitter. But one of our friends posted like graduated like 4 years ago or something like that, and I was just like, what the fuck? 4 years? A whole college cycle ago?
Damn near 5, man.
No, it is. I think it has been 5 for us.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Time flies.
What year is it? Yeah, it has been. It's gonna be 2026. Jesus. 4.5, 5.5. Whatever. I don't know. Math.
Akron for OTs was 3 years ago. Crazy.
That is crazy. And then Aiden Fisher is a finalist for the Jason Witten Man of the Year.
Wow. Wow. Good for him, man. He deserves it.
He does deserve that.
I did not see his 60-minute exclusive, by the way.
It wasn't only an Aiden Fisher exclusive, but it was good stuff. And definitely go check that out. Yeah. And I mean, the timeline was in consensus. If we just cut Mellencamp and switch that with Fisher, it would have been perfect.
Mellencamp was important to portray kind of the state of Indiana and kind of where it's at. I thought he actually did a great job of explaining all those things and kind of like, yeah, there was less than half.
No, he's right. That's absolutely a fact. Can I ask you a question that you don't have to answer?
Yeah.
Do you think he was sitting up there smoking when we were freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors going to the games? You can choose.
Like, he was at every game? No, but I bet he went to one game a year at least.
That's fair.
Mellencamp's a Bloomington guy.
No, he is. I remember he shut the town down during when we were seniors. The rumor of him and Bruce Springsteen going to Bluebird shut the entire town down. Not that the town wasn't already like shut down, but people were like freaking out, trying to like run into the side of Bluebird and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, he's a legend for sure. I'm just saying, like, I would have preferred to see Aiden.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, and yeah, like. I mean, shit was bleak, man. Like, I wouldn't blame him for not going to the game. I wouldn't have blamed him. You could still be blaming him. You could be an IU super fan and like not go to those football games because that was a fucking tough watch, man. And the it's not a turnaround. It was an impossible revival. Not even a revival because they were never alive. You know what I mean? Like it's like a birth almost. Like it's new. Like it finally had a pulse. You know what I mean? And yeah, number 1 in the country. It's crazy. 60 Minutes.
Yeah, that was nuts.
That's crazy. They deserve it.
Did it? I don't want to nitpick 60 Minutes. I'm gonna stop.
Dude, it's like one of the best programs of all time.
No, it was awesome. It was awesome. It was like 70% accurate though. Like they were. You know what I mean? Like it was just there were some inaccuracies. It felt a little rushed. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm nitpicking.
They keep it high level. They don't go into each individual player. Like
that's not what I'm saying.
I'm just going into NIL stuff and like the fact that the turnaround happened because they had access to all this money. Like is that the point where?
No, more so like it. I get what they were trying to say, but it was very much like this just happened this year, and like holy hell, look where this team came from. And like I get it in terms of like the national exposure, but it's just like I feel like it didn't. It could have more accurately portrayed.
I think you wish they talked about last year's team a little bit. I think that's what you're at.
Yes.
And yeah, but like they keep it high level. Like, yeah, they still portray it in the sense like, yeah, this team did come out of nowhere. Like, you know what I mean? Like they did. Like,
not if you were watching this show.
True. But yeah, they came out of nowhere in the sense of like, this is a 2-year story. You know what I mean? Like 2 years, number one from bottom. 4 OTs with Akron, most losses of all time. To number one in the country in 2 years. Like that, they portrayed that story, I think, to a T.
I think you're right. And I thought they captured the emotion of it and obviously the production very high level. And like it's 60 minutes and then that spotlight for Indiana football, like you can't say enough about that. So like but I'm a nitpicker. So you know what I mean?
I think
like,
the last college football team to get a 60-minute special was Nick Saban in Alabama, to be honest. Like that's crazy that they covered it. And it not crazy in the sense that it's undeserved, but crazy in the sense that like this happened to our university. Like that's nuts. Hit the jackbox. I went to that school like being like, football might not be great, but you know we'll have basketball, you know, and basketball will be cool, and there's more basketball games anyways. That'll be great. Boy, man, what a life's funny, isn't it? You know?
Basketball, what's that?
Seriously.
We've got Indiana football to talk. Well, we've got playoff football to talk about, Brad. You want to talk about the college football playoff?
Yeah, we can talk college football playoff. We can talk CFP a little bit. Yeah, this is kind of like my wheelhouse, you know? My domain, you know?
Shout out to Farrell, Indiana.
I've been getting asked all week, Alabama or Oklahoma, and I'm just like, man, I don't know, the home team, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, all right, I like all right, I'm glad you're sitting in front of me. I can throw these things by you. You can filter out my bias and my fandom, and you can kind of give it to me straight. Is this a crazy thought to be like the way Oklahoma matches up with Indiana and the way Indiana and Alabama match up? Like I would much rather see Alabama. Is that crazy?
No, because I think what Brent
Can I give you the why?
Yeah, I want to hear your why first, because I have my why as to why I don't really want to see Oklahoma.
The two things that kill Indiana, obviously, well, two things that kill anybody: really physical, elite, top 10 defense. Oklahoma has it. And Oklahoma has a quarterback who can make plays with his legs. If you look at the only time Indiana ever gets in trouble. Horrible Jack Louch.
Every time we bring up a mobile quarterback, I'm bringing up Jack Louch to the end of time. I swear to God.
If you look at which one of those quarterbacks is a statue in the pocket, which one of them moves around and makes plays with his legs, like I know Mateer's been beat up and he's been injured this year, but like he's the type of quarterback that gives Indiana trouble. Like as good as Ty Simpson is, like he's not a more accurate passer than Julian saying. That offensive line isn't as good as Ohio State's, and as good as Ryan Williams is. And the different skill sets, so it's not exactly apples to apples. But like Alabama doesn't have Alabama's elite, high level up, but Ohio State is the most talented team in the country this year. Like they 3 guys in top 10 in the Heisman. Like argue with the wall. You know what I mean? Like it's so. If you look at what Alabama does really well, where it's scheme, it's superior athletes on the outside, NFL quarterback, and big bodies. Like that's not really what's going to give this Indiana team trouble. Like you need to have somebody who's going to be a problem in the backfield as a quarterback. And to me, that's Mateer. Now, that being said, like I think Indiana is rightly favored in both of those games, but at least to me, like I think it couldn't be more obvious which team is a better matchup for Indiana.
Oh, for sure. I completely agree. Like you nailed on the head. For me, it's like the schematics of that Oklahoma defense, Brent Venables, I have a ton of respect. I mean, just think about those Clemson defenses over the years with Dabo. I mean, they're giving Nick Saban fits, like, and they were like an unstoppable object, and Brent Venables was like their kryptonite. You know what I mean? Like Nick Saban was Superman, and Brent Venables was the kryptonite to that Bama dynasty for 5 years. and he brought that to Oklahoma. That's why I picked them to be in the playoff this year, because I knew they upgraded the offense, and that defense was never going away. Never will, as long as he's there. They match up way better against Indiana than Alabama does. More so just because whatever Alabama has, we match. And it's crazy to say, I think we out-talent both those teams. Just our execution and you can't convince me that they have more NFL players than us. Like, I think there's like not 20 guys on this roster that are going to get looks, and that's like not even like really considering the freshmen and the underclassmen that haven't really played for Indiana yet. Like, how many of those guys eventually get to the league? Like, there's a ton of talent on this Indiana team, and they match it. They match either of those SEC schools. But in terms of like schematics, ball knowing, right? Like, Mateer and his legs, like, he brings that. Like, when you think of those Bama teams, like, who they lose to? Like, they lose to Pavia. They lose to guys like Menzel. They lose to the mobile quarterback, the Deshaun Watsons, right? The guys that can kind of
beat them.
The guys that can kind of just make things happen. I think Dak did beat him at Mississippi State, maybe in the regular season. And then they like lost to someone else, or I'm not sure. But we might have to fact check that. But like,
somebody's got to fact check us on that.
But like, that was, even if he didn't or not, like, I'm sure Dak gave him fits. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure they made it a close game.
It's hard. Like, and this goes back to like you learn this, I think, more when you watch like the younger levels of football, right? Like high school and youth level, where like when you watch the quarterback run, you really gain an understanding of what the extra guy in the run game does in terms of blocking. Having to account for that guy as a playmaker in both facets is really hard to do for any elite defense. You saw the way like Colton Joseph gave Indiana fits. You saw the way Amari Odom gave Indiana fits. And I'm not saying like that's the scarier quarterback to me than the guy who's going to stand in the pocket, because Bryant Haynes is going to find a way to get to you and move you off your spot. If he's not going to hit you, you're going to move.
Yeah. Mateer is a guy, like, he's a game wrecker, right? Like, in his ability to just make things happen and throw on the run and and sidearms. I love Mateer as a quarterback. He is NFL guy. Like, he is going to have a job in the NFL. That guy, he is so talented. So like, facing him will just pose a ton of challenges for that. Like, especially in like just in the college game specifically, right? I'm not out here saying he's going to have a better career than Ty Simpson. It's more so like in the college game, going up against college kids. I think we forget that a lot. Like, these are kids, right? And Mateer is just one of those like special athletes, and when he's playing at that level, like, it's gonna shine very brightly and gives them a chance against anyone who they play. When you have a super talented, kind of can make things happen type quarterbacks, can get it through the air, through his legs. It doesn't matter. He's going to produce, right? He's going to get his, and Indiana's just going to have to find a way to match that if they end up facing Oklahoma. But I was saying Alabama or Oklahoma in terms of like picking the game, not more so like who'd I rather face. I'd like to say I'd rather face Alabama. Obviously, I think we match up better against them. Also, I think the symbolism of beating Alabama for our first bowl win in how many years, and just like the idea of just beating Alabama, if you're Indiana, I think that just is not to discredit the consistency of Oklahoma over the last 20 years or so since Bob Stoops.
I think it's a brand thing that most rational people would understand that sentiment of like, Alabama has been the brand of college football. Alabama, Ohio State, like, you know what I mean? Pick your poison. But Nick Saban's Alabama is the college football team from 2007.
That's what you aspire to be. That's where all the kids want to play, and to beat them, like,
for narrative's sake, I'm
not that we aren't already the place to be. That just puts it in, what do you call it? It engraves, it puts it in stone, puts it in limestone. How about that? Puts it in limestone that Indiana is here to stay, and that that's the place to be. If you want to be successful and go to the league, that's where you should look at. Every kid wants the Indiana offer now. And it's only going to be established if they go out and beat Alabama.
I think
But like,
yes.
they get Oklahoma beats them, and then we beat Oklahoma. It's almost like the same thing. So it's like,
yeah. Listen, Oklahoma's great, and they have awesome fans and a great brand, and they travel well, and they're like very prestigious program. So it's like, but you're talking about like the SEC school.
Yeah.
Like for narrative's sake, yeah, could not agree more. But who do you think is going to win that game?
I mean, we've gassed up Oklahoma, right? Like, and I think I picked Oklahoma when we ran through the pick'em, right? And
yeah, only 8 people joined that, by the way.
Right? Like, if that's the first game we're starting with,
you want to start somewhere else? We just spent
Alabama beat Oklahoma earlier in the year, and it's hard to beat a good team twice. And if you remember the conference championship week preview, that's kind of where I went with a lot of my picks. I picked Duke over Virginia. I picked Georgia over Alabama. Oklahoma's due.
Oklahoma's also playing at home.
Yeah, it's also in Norman, right? Like, that changes a lot. That changes a lot of things. Let me double check. Hold on. Oh, wow, I'm way off base here. So Oklahoma actually beat Alabama. That was
I was about to say that didn't sound right at all.
Playing tricks on me.
It's a
I think Oklahoma is the better team, but the idea that they're going to be able to beat Bama twice, and Bama's playing really well these days. What's Bama's win streak right now?
Bama's win streak is 0. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they lost to Georgia, huh?
Yeah. No, I like Oklahoma in this game. I like them at home. I think they're the better team. I think they have the better defense. Like, but I could again.
But Kalen DeBoer's a winner. You know what I mean? Like,
wins.
Like I said, this
he has the better quarterback.
I said this in an argument. Like when you talk about Kalen DeBoer, it's almost like the same thing with Sig. Like he wins. Google him. Like you know what I mean? Like the dude wins.
He won at Indiana.
He won at Indiana. He made Indiana get a pull. I said earlier on the show, like Indiana never had a pulse. If there was one time they had a pulse, it was when Kalen DeBoer was the OC calling plays. Swear to God, like that was the one. He had Peyton Ramsey looking like an all-conference quarterback, throwing to Donovan Hale.
My goat.
He had Peyton Ramsey and Donovan Hale giving Penn State fits on the road. You know what I mean? Like the dude, he's a hell of a coach. I'm such a big fan of Kalen DeBoer, and like I think it'd be great for the conference if Michigan got him. And I think it'd be good for Kalen to kind of get out of that, shit show that is the Alabama Booster Club. Anyways, just like unrealistic expectations as they probably should have. It's just human nature. Like when you win 7 titles in 14 years, you're going to have unrealistic expectations because that's an unrealistic accomplishment, right? Like, yeah, Kalen DeBoer wins. Google him. But I think Oklahoma is a better team and they're at home. So I think I'm taking I got to take Oklahoma.
Yeah, that was a long-winded way of saying I think the home team is going to win.
Right? It's 8-9, right? Like last year, the 8-9 matchup was Ohio State, Tennessee, and that couldn't have been more clear to me.
Well, you could argue this is a fraudulent 9.
Annihilate them, and they
Alabama is the only conference champion loser to not move back in the poll. Like I think like ever.
Yeah, like Alabama, and I've said it. Like they're the least deserving team in the field right now. In my mind, because if they knock BYU out, like why the hell is Bama in? They got boat racing their title game too, and have 3 losses, 10 wins. At least BYU had 11 wins. Not that that's like the only metric that matters, but like BYU had a higher strength of record than Alabama. BYU. So if you're going by that philosophy, like it's either Bama and BYU or it's Miami and Notre Dame that are in. Like you got to pick, it's one or the other. It's not like you can mix and match that. Like that's how the philosophy should go if you want to keep it consistent. Now you don't have to keep it consistent. I guess you kind of do year in, year out because they kept SMU in over Alabama. But like that ACC championship game is a little closer. So I guess like there's nuances, right? Like it's difficult. So like, but if they want to keep it consistent to last year, it probably should have been Bama and BYU in. I'm done talking about it. And honestly, like, it's so back to my point. I think Oklahoma should win this game, but don't be surprised if Bama pulls it out because it's just hard to beat Bama twice. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to beat a team. Kalen DeBoer, you're going to beat him twice in 1 year. Like, that's a hell of a year for Brent Venables if he's able to pull that off.
I like it. Let's go here next. How do you feel about our friends that snuck into the playoffs down in South Beach?
I'm proud of them. You know, I love the U. Like, I'm such a big U fan. Like, as a college historian, like watching those U 30 for 30s, like that is such an important brand in college football, and for them to be kind of back and Mario Cristobal to leave that Oregon job to bring his alma mater back, like so like noble of him to do that, really. Like to leave the Oregon job to do that and bring back Miami and make them relevant in college football, like beautiful for the sport. Hope Florida State gets back to where they need to be. One of my favorite rivalries, Florida State, Miami. Iconic, need it more. NIL will fix that, and the transfer portal will fix that. Like, Florida State's not going to be bad for long. They're just not. But yeah, Miami just matching up against A&M in Kyle Field. A&M's coming off a loss, like they're pissed, like they're mad.
They haven't played in a while either.
Buzzing, like NFL guys all over the place on both sides, obviously. But like, it's just hard to get out of your head that Miami, like A&M just lost to Texas, who's damn good. They got Arch Manning. They were in the playoff last year, went to the semis, right? Like they lost to a hell of a good program on the road, right? Miami lost to 2 ACC schools that are very questionable. I'm not even sure if they're ranked anymore. It's just hard to get that out of your head. So it's like, which Miami do we see? Like they looked insane to start the year, and then they kind of like tailed off. And you know, is the ACC that good? It's just hard for me to picture a scenario where Miami comes out and wins that game. Not saying it can't happen. Like this is the playoffs. Like everything I'm saying, like obviously any team can win, but when it comes down to it, the job that Elko's done over there at A&M and the support that he has, very similar to Indiana, where they're trying to, you know, be consistent playoff participants year in and year out. Marcel Reed's coming back next year. They're buzzing. Yeah, hell of weapons on the outside. Mario Craver, fantastic receiver. Casey Concepcion, who you watched the show. I wanted Indiana to go get him, but you know we weren't there yet. I guess you know, like
we weren't spending Casey Concepcion money, bro.
Yeah, I guess not. And yeah, A&M. I like A&M in this game at home. Kyle Field's gonna be a madhouse.
That place is gonna be absolutely rocking. That might be the best atmosphere of the weekend.
Yeah, but
which is saying something.
Carson Beck, you know, which Carson Beck are we gonna see? You know, if he plays out of his goddamn mind, they can pull that one out. You know. And they have the talent to do it. It's just going to be really difficult, especially with the situation that, you know, A&M's kind of in, where they're coming off a loss. They're fixing things right now. Like they got exposed and they're able to, you know, they're going to clean it up and they're going to come out swinging at home.
Yeah, it does feel like A&M is going to run into Ohio State, an immovable object in the next round, but it doesn't feel like Miami is that immovable object.
Yeah.
But they do have talent, though. I to be honest, that would be the least surprising upset. To be honest, I think I would be less surprised if Miami won than if Alabama. I don't know if I would call that an upset. So I guess that makes perfect sense. But no, I'll just say it. I think I would be more surprised if Miami won than if Alabama won. No, other way around. Switch it. I think I'd be more surprised if Alabama won than Miami won.
It would be more surprising if Alabama won than Miami?
Yeah.
I disagree. Wholeheartedly. I think Bama's like damn near a coin flip. I think Bama's, if there's a team in the playoff that's most equipped to win on the road, which not a single team has done in the playoff.
I know.
I think that's an important caveat. Like not a single team has won on the road in the playoffs yet. If there's a team that's going to pull it off for the first time, it's Kalen DeBoer's Alabama.
He's just playing the harder, like he's playing the much better defense. Like if you're looking at the defense that could be
selling Elko short, man. Did you watch that Texas game? Like no one was doing anything in that game. Like, it was like halftime 0-0. A&M has a hell of a good defense. There's a reason why they went 11-0. Very similar to, I think you're Indianaing them a little bit. I think A&M doesn't get enough credit for the season that they had, and yeah, maybe they had the lighter SEC schedule, but
the South Carolina game is terrifying. Like to be down 30-3 or whatever they were down,
but they rattled off and came back. You know what I mean? Like that's a good team.
To win that game is impressive, but that's just like if you're going to give up 30 to South Carolina in the first half, then you can probably give up 30 to Miami. You know what I mean? So I don't see Oklahoma
I agree. And that game was at home as well, but this is going to be Friday night. This is going to be Saturday in the morning. This is in the morning. This is the first. Oh wow, it's the noon game. Wow.
Sorry, the dog's fighting in the.
No worries. We're almost done. We got the 2 other games. So
two more games left.
Preview.
two more. That's just a playoff primer. What do you mean? How can it be a quick preview? Yeah. We'll talk Ole Miss and Tulane. What a weird matchup in a game that was already played this year.
Yeah, it's frustrating that it was already played this year and Ole Miss beat the brakes off them. Did Austin Simmons play in that game or Trinidad Chambliss? It really doesn't matter because Trinidad Chambliss, he should have been higher up in the Heisman. I don't know how Gunnar Stockton was higher than him, and arguably, why is Julian Sain higher than Trinidad Chambliss? He had a hell of a year. He didn't play the whole year, but that 18-3 turnover ratio, no Lane Kiffin, but they know they can beat him and they're gonna beat him. You know what I mean? I know Tulane has a shot. They're a damn good football team. They might make it close.
Their football coach is recruiting his roster for Florida next year. It's awesome what John Summerall is trying to do and the fact that he donated money and all of that stuff and that he's coaching the game. But that dude might pass out on the sideline if he's actually doing his job.
Kai Hughes is going to be a Florida Gator next year. Just know that.
I don't hate that.
Yeah. I feel like that's like a shoo-in. Anyways. I like Ole Miss. Ole Miss is 17.5 and yeah, I like I like it. I like Ole Miss. Yeah, it's a home away team has never won in the playoff, and I don't think it's going to be Tulane. As much as I want to talk about how good of a team Tulane is, which they are, fantastic program. With John Summerall got the Florida's job for a reason. I mean, they can play. But they played earlier this year, and even if that game's close in the fourth quarter, Ole Miss, all they have to do is remember that they beat that team by 5 touchdowns earlier in the year, and that they can figure it out and win.
Yeah. Are you intrigued at all about James Madison versus Oregon, or is the Twitter back and forth enough for you?
Reminds me. Remember when Oregon had to play Liberty in a New Year's Six bowl?
Did Liberty beat them? No. When was this?
Pac-12.
The way you set it up, I thought you were throwing me a curveball.
Pac-12 memory of the week. This is in 3 seasons ago. Bo Nix, Fiesta Bowl, Liberty versus Oregon. You know Bo Nix, AFC West leader. Bo Nix. 1 seed in the AFC.
Overdog Bo Nix. The overdog.
Ooh. Oh man, 45-6, Keezer. And funny thing was, after the first quarter, 6-3 Liberty.
Should have stopped the game and took a picture.
Yeah. No, seriously, it's gonna be that type of game.
Yeah.
Calling now.
The speed of James Madison's not doing anything for you.
I would take the Oregon team total over. Oregon's been they've been pissed since that Indiana game. Anyone who's been in their way since the Indiana game has just soiled their pants because they're dealing with an absolute juggernaut in Oregon.
Except Iowa.
True. But, Kinnick on the road. Yeah. Easy explanation there. Easy explanation. But yeah, Kadon Salter, that Liberty team was good. Yeah, just not good enough. And yeah, James Madison, great story. Obviously, it's funny kind of seeing him in there with Sig at the 1 seat. It's like, man, like Sig really like set that program up to a point where like they can hire a new coach, probably upgrade their facilities.
That team would have been like an 8 seed. That team would have been so good.
Yeah.
James Madison with Fisher and Hardy and Kamara and all those dudes and Pons and
what's good for them is that Chesney has a short flight from LA to Eugene.
Yeah. So another guy who's
I'm actually already out here. I'll meet you guys there. Type deal. Like it just sucks. Like they need to fix that schedule. I don't know how many times they need to say, but they need to standardize the schedule and like
the schedule is not fixable because the big fish is always Brad. The big fish is always going to eat the small fish. They don't give a shit. If UCLA doesn't care that it cut JMU's playoff chances by whatever it did against Oregon. Like UCLA wants to be good at football next year.
I know, but it doesn't help anyone involved, It
helps UCLA.
Not really, because he's still coaching. He's coaching the game. He's not. That's 3 less hours. He's not calling. He's not making inroads with Servite High School and Modern Day High School. It's what he needs to be doing right now.
Signetti passed out at the wheel, pulling into his office.
Like this turnaround doesn't happen unless you're solely focused on one purpose, right? Like it doesn't help anyone. And I'll say it again. Make me the commissioner. We'll move signing day back to the first Wednesday of February, like it used to be, just like 5 years ago. I don't know why they changed that. It was the weirdest thing ever. And then like build around that. Portal opens that day as well. Boom. All right, you sign all your freshmen. Bang. Now everyone's in the portal. All right, now we're off to the races. You know what I mean? Like that. I feel like that's so simple. And then spring ball starts in March. Like I don't know where the disconnect is to where we can't make this happen. Now we have coaches leaving mid-season during the playoffs. Like we expanded this playoff field. Now 2 of the playoff teams don't even have coaches. 3 of them don't. Like it's crazy.
And they all left to go to non-playoff teams because guess what? Like, the long-term money was more important than the opportunity to potentially win a championship, or they all realized they couldn't win championships this year and dipped.
And the reason why, because the national championship's like January 10th. So you have those 3 weeks between January and February to do the coaching.
No. It's like 10 days after that. It's like the 19th.
You're right, because the semis are on the 10th and then the championship's on the 20th. They do every 10 days for the playoffs. But yeah, you still have those 10 days of the coaching search. You can take interviews, but once you're hired, you got to do the job. You know what I mean? Like that's
you're doing both thing. Schools
like,
a disservice.
You can take interviews and coach. Like that is realistic. People do it all the time in the real world, right? You're working your job and you have an interview that day. You put time aside and you do that and then you still do your job, right? Like that is normal behavior. This idea that people are doing 2 jobs at once doesn't make sense. And me and Jake Butt got to get on a podcast and fix it. Like that's not.
Well, I was first brought it up to mess with the Ohio State fans, but like this was my whole point with Hartline or any coach that takes a new job is like I just said, like Signetti literally passed out pulling into his office. Like if you're not going to put that level of dedication into one single place for the entire, like you're already behind. First of all, you're way behind that guy. Because your roster is incomplete.
Shorten the days in between the playoff games if needed. Like move the playoff up. Move it up to where it's the 20th, and then you got your semis on New Year's Day, and then championships January 10th. Fix that. We could have Army Navy and first round of the playoffs that day. I think everyone would like it, right? Maybe it would take some things away from Army Navy, which might suck, right? But like.
Well, like Herb Street,
in order to make it work for everyone involved, we got to make some sacrifices. If anyone knows anything about sacrifices, it's Army Navy. Anyway,
come on, Brad.
Oh man, that was clever, but maybe like a little not great. But anyways, yeah, 10 for cleverness, 0 for class. How about for that comment? Anyways, love the troops, by the way.
Hold on, the dog's eating it.
But yeah, we need to fix this schedule. I think it's the most paramount thing this sport needs. And yeah, we got to build around signing day being on the first Wednesday of February. And I'm gonna stand on business there because spring ball doesn't start till March. We can figure this out. Like this is not crazy. I get it. They moved it up so we can have early enrollees and match with the system, but yeah.
No, it definitely needs to be workshopped. I don't know. I just think there is no fix when the better job wants to hire somebody at the worst job. Like, it's when there's this much money at stake, like somebody's going to end up being hurt, and it's always the place that's being left. But like, that's just the reality of the system. Like, I don't know if you can fix that, to be honest. I think people should try, and their conversations need to be had, but I don't know. Like, there was a lot of think pieces about Lane Kiffin that came out, and there weren't many think pieces about Matt Campbell or John Summerall or, you know, guys like taking obviously better positions. The fact that Lane Kiffin took what many people like, LSU's a better job than Ole Miss.
Lane Kiffin has every right to take whatever job he fucking wants. That's his prerogative.
I'm not defending Lane Kiffin, but I'm defending his right to take that job. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. It's hard for me to be like the sport's ruined when, like, I don't know, every year like 3 schools are affected. Maybe
I have the solution. That's the thing. I fixed it. Anyways, FCS playoffs. Montana at Montana State. Go Grizz. I think this is our year. I think the Grizz, the winner of this game wins the national title. I think the Grizz are going to pull it off in Bozeman. They lost early this year to Montana State. It's their only loss of the year. Hard to beat a good team twice. Montana keeps putting 50 balls on everyone they see these days. I like Montana State. By the way, Eli Gilman, true junior. Would love to see him in the portal. Potential IU target. Eli Gilman. Anyways, love Eli Gilman.
Is that your closing thought?
That's the Montana running back. And then Illinois State, what a run. And Villanova, what a run. 2 Cinderella stories going up against each other in the FCS semifinals in Villanova. Villanova -1.5. Villanova's been knocking at the door. They're a very proud football program in the FCS if you follow the sport.
Brad, they recruit very heavily out of the Shore Conference.
Oh, for sure. I bet they do. And I bet they've found tons of success over the years. It's probably the furthest they've ever made it. Illinois State feels like they're on Cinderella one. I got to put on for the home state here. We go Illinois State Redbirds here. And just pick them. I don't know if that's my take on who's going to win. I think if I had to put money on it, I'd go Villanova. But, yeah, go Redbirds. I'm rooting for them. Illinois State, Montana, that'd be an awesome championship game. But knowing, you know, I think my luck might be running out, and I'm willing to lose some luck in the FCS playoffs. willing to sacrifice, you know.
For the guys, for the fellas.
Redbirds. But, yeah, no, it's that will be a fun Saturday. Lots of good football to watch. I'll be watching Montana for sure. Go Grizz.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I got some closing stuff. If you haven't checked out my conversation with Jamie Jordan that happened on Sunday night, go check that out. That's on our channel. I believe it's under the live section. Tomorrow night, I'm all over the place this week. Tomorrow night, I'll be back live on this channel. I'll be talking to T-Cal. So we'll have a really fun conversation, bring to the people. Very, very excited about that as well. If you don't know T-Cal or Buffton Prime, go get yourself educated. Buffton Prime on YouTube, Buffton Prime on Twitter. Go find out before we have him back on the show tomorrow night. Super pumped about that.
Fuck yeah.
And yeah,
I need to talk to T-Cal about some things. I have some business ventures for him, but you know, that's for another day.
Conversation for another day. If you're watching on the Sigs Inside Twitter account, hop on over to YouTube. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Indiana at the Voice of College Football. Check us out on Twitter. You can check out Brad at Bradley_Loomis8. You can check me out at Alec Keyser. Check out the Voice of College Football. Check out Indiana VOCFB. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow night, so it'll be a quick turnaround. But shout out to the boys, Wave, Nick, Skrill, Signar. The 1621 played us in. Butter Symphony's going to play us out. Next time Brad and I talk will be Rose Bowl week? No, we'll still have another week in between. So we'll have to figure out something for next week to keep ourselves occupied. But yeah, appreciate you guys for listening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Go Hoosiers.